Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of a video on my experience with laser eye surgery rather than trying on a load of clothes. I wanted to just go through everything with you if you are thinking about doing it, have had it done, wanting to know someone else's experience, or haven't even considered it but you might be able to get it done. Just a disclaimer, I am not encouraging anyone to have it done. I am not being paid to promote this service. As you can tell, there are ups and downs that I've had, but this is just my experience. Everyone is different, and I am well aware that there are significant risks with laser eye surgery. Before I had the surgery, I did weigh them up. I know some people have had some really bad experience, some people have really good experience. On the most part though, it has been positive from what I've read. But if you have come to this video wanting to promote your kind of laser eye surgery has done me wrong sort of attitude, then please don't. People don't need to be scared by it. I know when I was looking at other people's videos, I'm well aware that there are risks. I knew what they were. I didn't need someone to come onto someone else's YouTube video and hound them because they'd had it done and they shouldn't have done because they'd had a bad experience. It's not great that someone else has potentially had vision impairment, and there are so many kind of scare articles out there. But if you are considering it, please do your own research, use your own brain, weigh up the pros and cons and do what's best for you. Don't take someone who loved laser eye surgery's kind of word for gospel, and don't take someone who's had a horrific experience for gospel. Make up your own mind. That's all I want to say on that. I had it done. Overall, it's been a positive experience, and that is just my experience. So, as you'll probably notice, I keep looking down. I do have notes in front of me just to make sure I cover absolutely everything that I want to talk about. So, I'll just get straight into it. So, the overview and why I wanted to get my eyes done. So, my eyes aren't bad, or should I say weren't bad. I had a prescription of, say, I think it was like -1.5, but I did have astigmatism in both eyes, and it meant that my eyesight was really it just didn't focus very well. So, I could see people, like, if someone was in front of me, I could see what they looked like. Their features weren't clear, all that sort of stuff, but it wasn't like I had -8 or -9 vision. But I really wanted it because, one, I hated wearing glasses, and I wore them all day, every day, and two, I could not get along with contact lenses. So the option for me then was to consider laser eye surgery. I had thought about laser eye surgery for quite some time, but it only kind of came into as a serious option a few months ago when I was talking to family and my partner about it. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be too expensive, it's not worth it. But like they said, it is my eyes, it's my eyesight, and if it could be improved, then why not? I am lucky enough that I have been able to afford it, and I will talk about price later on in the video, so if you want to know about that, just stick around. But yeah, for me, it was an option. It was something that I could get done, and it was something that would just benefit me in my life. I mean, I do a lot of things where I wish I didn't have to wear glasses. So obviously, you know, I wear a lot of makeup and it would always ruin my makeup, or they'd get fogged up with a mask, especially in lockdown. On holiday, I know it sounds so stupid and such a first world problem, but I didn't want to have to carry around my glasses and sunglasses and have to buy prescription sunglasses and all those sorts of things. So for me, it was a definitely something that I really wanted to look into. So who did I go to, why, and kind of what did I sign up for? So before I started actually like committing to someone, I spent a lot of time online looking at reviews, looking at the different companies that do it, asking people who they'd had it done by, speaking to family and friends that I know have had it, and basically using that as a guide. I ended up going with Optical Express. So they have their consultation area in the Trafford Centre, which is the one that I went to. But I actually got my surgery done at the St John's Clinic in Manchester on Deansgate. I went with Optical Express because they are the, as far as I'm aware, so please don't quote me on this, they are the biggest laser eye surgery company, I think, in the UK or in Europe. And out of all 10 surgeries that go ahead, they do 6 of them. So if you think about how many other companies there are in the country or in Europe, they do 60% of every single surgery. They have really good surgeons. So I will talk about my surgeon. He there's so many on the list that can do your surgery. However, when I looked at all the surgeons that did their procedures at the St John's Clinic, he was the one that had done the most amount of hours of surgery. I think he'd done over 4,500 surgeries for laser eye surgery. So I felt really comfortable going with him. But that is why I went for Optical Express, just the reviews, how many people have had it done there, how their kind of success rate, how well known that they are, and all those sorts of things. So I will talk about my process. So the first process for me was to book an appointment. This is a free consultation. It takes a couple of hours. So I turned up at the clinic with my boyfriend Rob and had an initial discussion with the first lady, who went through what it was, what the surgery does, the fact that there are two types, is LASIK and LASIK, and I had LASIK surgery. She just kind of went through kind of what did I do in life that, you know, potentially could be a bad thing for laser eye surgery, like contact sports, all those sorts of things, or things that would take longer, like you'd need to heal for longer before you took them on, or those sorts of things. I then went into another room with the optometrist, I believe, and had all my eye checks, making sure that my cornea was the right thickness. If it's the right thickness, you can have LASIK, which has a recovery period of 2 days. If it isn't the right thickness, you have to have LASIK, which is a recovery of 5 days, and it is much cheaper. But LASIK is considered, I think, better. I think it's just because of the recovery is quicker that it's more expensive. So I had all that done. I was told that I could have LASIK, which is more expensive but quicker recovery. They did all my tests, and that was great. I then went back into a room with the initial consultation lady, and she ran through everything with me, how long it normally takes to get an appointment for the actual surgery, the price, all that sort of stuff. Now, when it comes to booking the surgery, they are salespeople at the end of the day, and they want you to purchase their product. I didn't actually feel too overwhelmed by the woman trying to sell it to me. It was very much like, if you book now, we can get you in the next 2 weeks. You know, we can't guarantee that if you're going to wait longer. But I always went with the intention that I wasn't going to book it there and then. I wanted to walk away, think about it, and then kind of go through that process, which is exactly what I did. So when I was there, she talked to me about obviously the LASIK eye surgery and the IDESIGN. So IDESIGN is kind of the top spec LASIK, which is, again, more expensive. But this is where they take something like 12,050 different kind of points in your eye with the machine and adjust every single one. The normal LASIK surgery just adjusts one part of your eye to your prescription, I think. Please don't quote me on this. So I was definitely considering the IDESIGN. I thought it was more expensive. However, if I'm going to do something with my eyes, let's go for the one that is more accurate. It is my eyesight after all. So going on to the price. My left eye is worse than my right eye, and the worse your eye is, the more expensive it is. Obviously, there's more adjustments need to be made. So overall, they quoted me £3,690, I believe, to have the LASIK eye surgery, and I think it was £3,090 without the IDESIGN, just the normal one. So it'd be a £600 kind of uplift if you went for the IDESIGN. So I had read that you could potentially haggle the price. Obviously, again, it is my eyesight. I don't really want to get it down to a ridiculous amount of money and get kind of a cowboy to do my eyes sort of thing. But I went away, I thought about it, and then I called them back and said, look, it's just a little bit too expensive. You know, if you can get it down to however much, I will sign up to get it done. And this was about 4 or 5 days later. She had called me a couple of times saying, you wanting to go ahead, blah, blah, blah. So definitely play the game. And you can get it cheaper. So in the end, I got mine for £3,300, which is just under £400 less than they initially quoted me. I probably could have pushed it further, but I just kind of wanted to leave it. I think I got, is that a 10% discount? I am an accountant, I should know this. Yeah, it's around about 10% discount. So I was quite happy with that. And then compared to the original £3,090, I was only paying an extra £200 to get the IDESIGN, in theory. So that was how much it cost me. About the payments, so you have to give a £500 deposit straight away, I'm pretty sure, and then you pay the remaining balance 10 days. It has to be paid before the surgery. So you can do a payment plan, which is obviously just like taking out a loan and paying it back monthly. I didn't do that, I just paid it outright. I'm going for mortgages and stuff, so I don't really want any more kind of credit on my name, but that's just a completely irrelevant point. So yeah, you can pay outright and you can pay on finance, and it can be however kind of many months you want it to be, to an extent. But yeah, that was how much I paid. So the process going from there, had the appointment again. Like I said, I spoke to her on the phone, got the price down, paid my £500 deposit. From then, you are then booked in for a telephone appointment with another consultant. Now, when you're in the initial kind of consultation, you do get a booklet, and this has a lot of information in it, all of the risks that come with this, and there are a lot of risks. They are very minimal and very unlikely to happen, but again, still could happen, so please consider that. It comes with all what the type of surgeries are, the LASIK, the LASIK, all that sort of stuff, a bit about Optical Express, and you get this booklet. Now, when you get the booklet, if you do go ahead with it, you have to kind of initial all the pages with all the risks, all the things that could go wrong, which is a bit scary, but, you know, fair enough. And when you're on the call with the consultant, so you have like a 10-minute call, and he just says, have you got any questions? Have anything? This is what you need to do. You need to have this all initialed by the time you go in for your actual surgery. So that is what happened. And before that, once I had paid the $500 deposit, before I forget, you then book in for your surgery. So I had booked in for the 22nd of May, like I said. It was just around about, I think it was 3.5 weeks from my initial consultation date. And it was a Saturday, I believe. I think it was a Saturday. So yeah, I had that booked in, so it was about a month's time, and all of this stuff kind of happened in the meantime. So you've had your telephone consultation, you then call up to 10 days before. They do obviously call you to say it's due, and pay the remaining amount. Day of the surgery. So I had my surgery at around 10 o'clock. So, and they do say, obviously with COVID, get there as close to your appointment time as you possibly can. So I think we ended up walking into the clinic like 2 minutes to 10. My mum was allowed in with me for the very, very first bit because I was quite nervous, but as soon as you kind of go into the next stage, she has to go. So we went in with our masks on, sanitised, and then you have to get all the eye tests done. So they do the normal kind of puffer machine, the balloon taking the readings, and then I went to the IDESIGN machine, and that is like this big black disc, and apparently that's what reads your prescription on the 1,250 different places on your eye. And it was a bit strange because she was saying, look at the cross, but don't look at the cross, look through the cross. And I'm like, I don't know how to look through a cross. So that was panicking me. I'm thinking, if I do this wrong, is my eyesight going to go wrong? Am I going to go blind? But I think it was fine, so don't panic at that point. Once I came out from that, my mum then had to leave, and I was taken upstairs. So I went upstairs into a waiting room, and there was another really lovely woman waiting. She was kind of a step ahead of me. She'd seen the surgeon, and she was really waiting to go, and she was saying that her eyesight was really poor, so she was expecting this like massive life-changing event. I have to say now, and I think I mentioned this in a later video which I'd filmed a while ago, so please, I do apologise for any repetitive information, but I was not expecting like a whirlwind, oh my god, my eyesight, I can see, Disney princess style kind of experience after the eye surgery. Like I said, my eyes aren't that bad, so I wasn't expecting, you know, not to be able to see my boyfriend and then all of a sudden his face is right next to me, but I was expecting, you know, I can watch the TV without glasses, and I can look at my phone without glasses, and I can drive without glasses, that sort of thing. So I wasn't expecting this massive moment, and I didn't get that massive moment, but because I wasn't expecting it, it was fine. But yeah, so I was in the waiting room, and then I went and saw the surgeon. So you go and see the surgeon that you're told that you're going to have, and yes, I was right, and mine was the right person, and I was really wanting to make sure it was. I didn't want to get someone who had had 5 surgeries behind their belt rather than nearly 5,000 or something like that. So you go into the room with him, he checks your eyes, he makes sure that he's happy with them. They can actually refuse you once you're there if he's not happy with either the LASIK and wants you to have LASIK, or if he doesn't think that you are suitable. So it is kind of like a am I not going to have it sort of moment until that point. Luckily my eyes were fine. He explained the surgery to me, asked me if I had any questions, and it was pretty simple. Because I'd done so much research, I didn't really have that many questions, and looking back, I wish I'd just asked some random ones, because I must have come across like, you know, it's fine, just, you know, zap my eyes, it's all okay. But yeah, that was great. And the way it worked is they, from what I can tell, they had the surgeon come out and get the first person. He would then go into the room with person A. Person B would then be called by the nurse to go and set up in the surgery section, and whilst they're putting the drops in your eyes, and I'll explain that in a minute, he's talking to this other person, and then once that consultation's on, he comes into the surgery. So it works quite well, and it's quite efficient with the timings and that sort of stuff. So I had my appointment with the surgeon, and I'm going to insert a clip here. Okay, so I've just seen the surgeon. I've been given the all clear to go ahead. So surgery will be in 15-20 minutes. Really nervous, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I don't know why these lights are making me so red, but bigger fish to fry. So as you can see, a bit of a blabbing, I was really nervous. It was good seeing him, and then from that point you then sit back down, and I think it's like a 15-minute wait until you go into the surgery. So I was waiting, and another guy came along, and he was kind of a step behind me. He'd just seen the surgeon, so I thought, right, I know I'm going in. Or he was about to see the surgeon, so I knew I was going in. The guy came out, he was this really lovely nurse, and there were two of them. He came to collect me. Now you walk into the room and it is very sterile, like you'd expect a surgical room to be. Lots of machines, lots of noises, and before this you could hear the surgery going on for previous people. The second laser was really loud, so that put me on a bit of nerves to start with, but the nurses were absolutely fantastic. I think there was a nurse and a technician, he was called. I don't think he was a nurse as well. So they sit you on the bed, they make you put your hair in like a little net sort of thing, and then he was like, are you okay? It's fine. And I was like, yeah, I'm just nervous. It's okay. He's like, right, lie down. We're going to put the drops in your eyes. So lay me down, and you are sat between two different lasers, and it's like quite crammed, and you're thinking, oh my god. They put the first lot of drops in, and then by that point the surgeon has come in, and he's saying, hi Rachel, are you okay? All that sort of stuff. So the first process is the drops, then they put this weird suction device on your eyes, and I will actually insert a clip here of what my eyes looked like after. So as you can see, they are quite bruised. That is because of the suction device that I'm talking about. It's like this little ring, probably, I mean, I don't even know how big it is because I was like this and it was just on your eyes, but it's just enough to cover the kind of the cornea of your eye. Or should I say, like, kind of separate it from the rest of your eye. They do that. I think there's some point they clamp your eyes open, but I can't remember. But the drops stop you from wanting to blink, so don't worry about that. You're not, like, your eyes aren't streaming or anything. It's just really weird, but it works. So once the suction device had gone on, I was swiveled to one laser. I think he was making sure that the suction device was in the right place. He then was like, right, I'm happy with that. Swiveled me to the other laser, and I didn't realise at the time, but it had started and I hadn't. Like, I was like, when is this going to start? There was no noise, there was nothing. And then all of a sudden the nurse was like, 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, and I was like, oh my god, this is bizarre. And there was a really weird sensation afterwards that no one's really spoken about, that I've seen on videos, but it's like, I don't want to scare anyone, it doesn't hurt, but it feels like a little bit of like a shock to your eye. So I think that's like when the laser kind of let goes, or when the full cutting of the cornea is done. So that laser is to cut your cornea ready for the surgeon, and at that point your vision goes black for like a split second. You are then moved back to kind of the middle. The surgeon then lifts the corneal flap, and you can see it lifting. It's so bizarre talking about it, but you can, your eyesight's already a little bit blurry because of the drops, but then you just see this like haze go over, and it's obviously the corneal flap lifting, and then it just goes really blurry. You're then moved into the second laser, and that's when the noise starts. So it is like tick, 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 but really loud. So I'm not gonna take your ears out, but it's really loud. And that's when the guy's saying, right, okay, so for the left eye it was 17 seconds and my right eye was 14 seconds or something like that. Can't feel a thing, obviously. The whole time I was thinking about Final Destination, so that wasn't fun. If you've seen that clip, let me know. But that was it. And then he's like, 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, and then he goes, right eye, surgery complete. And he did my right eye first and my left. I do also have to mention that I forgot on the first surgery is that it pushes down on your eye, and that's what causes the bruising. So there's like a little cone, and that's what connects with the ring in your eye. And then I think that's the pressure that causes the bruising in your eye, but I'll go back to that. So yeah, the right eye was done first, then the left eye, same procedure both times. And I remember at one point I was sat there and they were saying, are you okay, Rach? I thought I was okay, and then I could just feel my lip like bouncing back and forth, like shaking, shivering sort of thing. And I had my mask on, but you had to wear it below your nose, so I don't really know the overall point of that. But I could just feel my like lip quivering, so I was obviously very nervous. So they did it with your right eye, they did it with your left eye, and then you sit up. And they're like, right, that's great. And the nurse came over to me and said, right, I'll pass you on to this other lady who's another nurse. Here's your stuff. And then you just walk back out in the hallway, and there's people in the waiting room who are obviously waiting to go in. And you kind of go past them and go into another room with a nurse. Now, the nurse took me in, it was about 5 minutes, and she just gives you your drops and kind of your aftercare. So on to aftercare. You do get 3 sets of drops. You get an antibiotic, an anti-inflammatory, and dry eyes. Now, the antibiotics and the anti-inflammatory you have to use, I think, for a week, if I can remember. I think it's like every 2 hours to start with, and then every 4 hours, and then finished after a week. Dry eyes you're meant to use for about 3 months because that is a common side effect. She also gave me this fantastic looking thing. You're gonna have to ignore the fact that it's absolutely filthy, but this fantastic thing. And this is for whenever you are napping, sleeping, or ever going to be able to touch your eyes without realising it, because obviously you have got a flap off your eye, and they want you to not touch it, which is fair enough. So this is a sexy thing that they give you. It's really not comfortable. The plastic is really hard, and it was just, the foam's all right, but then it fogs up. Like, you can tell it's really like manky, because that's fogged up. And you're meant to wear this for a week. I think in the end I did like 8 or 9 nights. So I slept with this on, and then with this, which is my eye mask on top, because it just helped with the brightness sort of thing. So after the surgery, you've been in with the nurse, and then you go home. So I had to call my mum, you know, I can't really see at this point, but got onto the phone, called her and said, can you come pick me up? And about 5 minutes later, send the nurse, I was taken downstairs to wait for mum, and she said to me, if you have painkillers on you, take them now. So I did. I had taken Zapane, so that is like a prescription strength cocodamol that I take for my pelvic problems that I have, so I'm used to it. Took that, and to be fair, it didn't do as much as I wanted it to do. My mum then, as soon as I'd taken those tablets, I could hear my mum's voice, and I was like, right, let's go home. Within about 5 minutes of leaving the surgery, so this would be 10 to 15 minutes or so after actually having the surgery, my eyes started to water, the light was really bright, and they were starting to sting. We had to get back to the car, which was like a 5-minute walk, and the closer we got to the car, the worse it was getting, and the brightness, I was trying to cover my eyes like that while I was walking, trying to get to the car. And the car ride home, I've never known something so bright. I thought people were being dramatic, like, oh, it's a little bit of light annoying you. I had my really thick sunglasses on, which you'll see in the clip in a minute, from my day after the surgery, and I put them on my eyes, and it still felt like I was having a torch shone in both eyes, like with nothing there. So then I was doing that in the car, and I did that all the way home for about a half an hour drive, and then ran upstairs and got in bed in the dark, and that was kind of the best thing for me. Now, the first 2 hours, I'd say, after surgery were not great, but I will let 3 hours post Rach tell you that now. Okay, so I hope you can see me. I am out of surgery. It is now about 3 o'clock. So I came out of surgery around about 11:30, and I've got to be honest, the first 2 hours were horrific. So I was home by just after 12 o'clock, and during that time the light was starting to get really sensitive with my eyes, and the stinging had started mainly on my right eye. And then got home, and it just got progressively worse, to the point where my mum, bless her, was in the bed with me and trying to make me feel better, giving me a back rub, and, you know, just trying to tell me to keep calm and breathe through it. But it was really bad. Thankfully, since around 1:30, 2 o'clock, I'd say 2 o'clock, the pain has definitely subsided. I've been able to kind of doze in and out for the last hour or so, feeling better than I did. And I've just done my first lot of steroids, eye drops. There are 3 lots of eye drops. There are an antibiotic, there's an anti-inflammatory, and there are dry eye ones, so they're kind of alternated. So I've just taken my first ones, and I was really worried because I thought they might kind of aggravate my eyes, but so far so good. Painkiller wise, I took my Zapane, which is kind of cocodamol but prescription strength. I have it for my endometriosis, so I'm used to it. So I had that straight after my surgery, and then I had ibuprofen halfway through my meltdown before, and I've just had my next lot of Zapane about 3.5 hours after, to try and keep on top. So I'm listening to a podcast. My fantastic boyfriend has brought me chocolate, so I'm kind of eating some of that because I'm really hungry, and I'm just trying to rest for another probably 2 hours, whether I doze, whether I just listen to podcasts, but with my eye mask on, and keeping my eyes closed. So fingers crossed the next few hours continue to see improvement, and I will give you an update then. So as you can tell, not the best look for me. Sorry about the filming. I really couldn't see much at all, and like I said, you've got to be off screens. I don't know if I said it in that one or in my next clip. You do have to be off screens the whole day. You can't really look at them. I think Rob put the camera on for me at that point, but I think by about 4 or 5 o'clock I could look at my phone and text my best friend to let her know I was okay, my sister. But apart from that, there was no chance, because your eyes are just so heavy. They don't want to open, and you're kind of like that, trying to look, and it just doesn't work. So what I'd say is stay off screens as long as you possibly can. After the kind of horrendous 2 hours, I then stayed in bed until about 6 or 7 p.m. I tried to stay in bed as long as I possibly could, and then made my way downstairs. The stinging had stopped. My eyes were still a bit irritable, but the stinging had stopped, which was fantastic, and I needed to eat something. So I kind of lay on the couch with the lights off, with I think I had my eye mask on. I think I was trying to eat with my mask on, it wasn't working, and I took my eye mask off and I was just lying on the couch with the lights off, just listening to the TV. Every so often I'd glance and think, no, don't look at the screen. So yeah, that was kind of the first day, and apart from that 2 hours, it wasn't a bad experience. People, though, that I did see the following day, so the girl that went in before me and the guy that went after me were both at Optical Express on the meeting that I said that I had on the day after the surgery, back at Optical Express in the Trafford Centre. And when I was speaking to her, she was like, oh no, I was absolutely fine. So I do really think it's a personal thing. My boyfriend was like, oh, everyone else was okay apart from you, typical. But it really was really stinging, and it was awful. So I can be a drama queen for those 2 hours. So yeah, I'll talk about the day after surgery, because I don't really think I went into that much in my video. Again, it was just, you went in, saw the optician. I think I mentioned it a little bit in a minute. Went into the optician, spoke to her. She said, yep, you've got 20/20 vision. This machine that read said you've no longer got a prescription. But I was saying, hang on, my right eye's not right. Is this normal? Again, it's 1 day after surgery, so it wasn't going to be perfect. But everything was fine from that meeting. And after that, I could go out. We went shopping very briefly. I had my sunglasses on walking through the Trafford Centre, but it was the best thing for me. So that was the day after surgery, and that is the process. So from then on, you then have, I think it's a month until your next appointment, and then you go back and see them. So I will insert a clip now of me the day after surgery, so you can kind of see my update on that one. We're now around 30 to 36 hours post-op now, and my left eye was the worst out of the two, and it's actually healed the best out of the two. If I kind of cover my right eye, I can see pretty much everything clearly. When we were driving to my appointment earlier today, I could see everything in my left eye. My right eye is still quite blurry. So I had an appointment at Optical Express kind of for my 1 day checkup, and she said, to be fair, both eyes have already achieved 20/20 vision, but my right eye is slower and it is kind of blurry, so it's not as good as it should be. But in the next 4 days it should catch up, so just fingers crossed that's the case, because at the minute I feel a little bit unbalanced. Recovery's going okay. Again today, like I said, I've been to the appointment, we went around the shops and I had my sunglasses on again, and it was okay. Light sensitivity has worn away quite a bit, but I'm still getting it, and if I'm in a room with light for too long like now, I will probably put my glasses back on to kind of give them a rest. You just have to keep on top of your drops, the 3 types of drops, and take them as and when you are told to, and just try and sleep it off really. So I'm in head to bed now, wearing my beautiful eye mask that they give me, and also my blacking out one that I have to sleep with anyway. It seems to be a good combination, and I'm hopefully going to have see an improvement again in the morning, and I will give you an update as and when that happens. So I do apologise if I have repeated stuff, but I can't remember what I put in each video, and just wanted to make sure I'd captured everything. So that is that. The aftercare, like I said, the drops, keeping away from screens, light, all that sort of stuff, and then have my appointment. Now, it is now, where are we? Nearly 4 weeks since my surgery. About a week and a half ago, I was still struggling with my right eye. So my left eye is absolutely perfect, and that was my worst one. Like, if I cover my right eye and look way into the distance, I can read signs. It's insane. My right eye isn't as good. Now, I am shocked by that, because my prescription wasn't as strong on my right eye as it was on my left. Together, my eyes are great, and I look around, I can see everything clearly. It was really unbalancing for quite a while, and when I get tired, it comes back, that kind of weird wonky feeling, but that's normally at night if I've been on screens all day, kind of not been using my eye drops, so it is kind of my fault. But I do have to get my eyes do need to get used to it. I was really panicky probably a week ago, just over a week ago now, and I was like, I need to get seen. I need to know that my eye cornea hasn't wrinkled, which apparently it can do. and that it was healing right. So I did call them and said, look, my appointment isn't until whatever date, is there any chance I can get seen sooner? And she was like, yep, come in straight away. Well, not straight away, come in day after tomorrow or something and we'll get you seen. And that was at the St. John's clinic. I went in, had eye tests again, and then went in to see the optician. And he just basically said, yeah, you have a tiny prescription in both eyes, I think 0.25. He said, but that is really normal. It's very rare that you can get someone down to 0. How true that is, I don't know. And he was just saying, look, your right eye did have a smaller prescription than your left eye, so you're going to feel less of a difference, and it's going to make you feel a bit wonky because your left eye is so much better now. To be fair, since then, my eyes have been really good. I still notice that there is a difference between my left and right eye, but how often are you going to walk around doing that rather than that? And it is like close up to, I don't know, 2 meters away. They're both the same. It's after that kind of distance that it starts going a tiny bit blurry, but I can still read, I can still see things which I couldn't do before. And he did show me what my sight would have looked like had I not had it done, and showed the comparison. But he was just saying your whole body is trying to get used to this new vision that you've got, so you need to let it settle. Apparently also my surgery was a little bit more complex than some people's because I had my sight that needed correcting and also my astigmatism. And he said most people will stop feeling a bit off after about 4 weeks, but because yours was more complex, it can take a bit longer. So I have actually been booked in for another month's time, I think mid-July sometime, to get seen again, just to make sure everything's on track. Since that appointment, I feel a lot better, and it was probably the day before the appointment I was thinking, oh my god, my eyes are actually okay, I don't know why I'm flipping. But the whole message I was getting from the appointment from seeing him was, stop being a drama queen, it's not that bad. Just let your eyes heal. They have been lasered, so let them heal. So yeah, that is where I am at now. So I guess it comes down to my overall thoughts on the surgery, and kind of what I'm feeling about it, and do I regret it? If you'd asked me this probably the week after the surgery, I'd have been like, I think I do regret it. I wish I'd stayed with glasses. But that is because I was feeling really wonky. Everywhere I looked, it was like way off because my left eye was so good and my right eye was adjusting. But now I don't regret it at all. I wish my right eye was a little bit clearer because I'm comparing it to my left eye, which is like a bionic eye now. But my right eye is still a little bit, like a tiny bit blurry in the distance. But together, like I said, it's better than 2020. But no, I don't regret it at all. I think the fact that I can now walk around without picking my glasses up in the morning, without having to get prescription sunglasses, changing everything, is just so much better. I don't have to worry about my sight. The one thing that I do have to be wary of is that I need to use my eye drops more frequently. You are meant to use them several times a day, and some days I'll forget and use them once in the morning and once at night. I always use them when I wake up, and then I'll always put them in just before I go to sleep. But I need to remember because I do work on screens all day, every day. And I have I have a laptop screen and a monitor at my work, which is 8 till 5 most days. Then I'm on my phone doing YouTube stuff. I also do my interior design on the side, so I'm constantly looking at screens. And I've got to remember, without laser eye surgery, screens dry your eyes out. So when you've had laser eye surgery, they will dry them out even more. And I can always tell at night, I'm like, I should have used them more. So like yesterday, I hadn't been on screens for about a week because I've been off for my sister's wedding, and I could really tell yesterday because my eyes were like, what the hell is happening? You're looking at a screen, you're looking at a TV in the distance, you're looking at your phone, and my eyes were really wonky by the end of the night. Today it seems to be loads better. I have been on screens again all morning. I'm filming this in my lunch break, but it seems absolutely fine. So it really is just an adjustment process, and just kind of get used to it, and don't expect the world to kind of cure your eyes overnight sort of thing, which I feel like a lot of people kind of say that in their videos, but that is because their eyesight is really bad and then all of a sudden they can see. So I would just keep that in mind if your eyesight isn't terrible but you're still getting laser eye surgery. But yeah, I just need to manage it better. But as you can tell, I can see myself in the camera. I can see over the distance. I mean, you can't see what I'm looking at, but everything is so much clearer. I am hoping that in the month, in the next month until my next appointment, my right eye does start to just adjust that little bit more. He did say that it probably won't improve sight-wise. It might do, but he can't guarantee it. But my body will adjust to it where it will feel like it's improved, just because my left eye has changed so much and it's got to kind of compensate for that. But yes, that is my laser eye surgery experience. Overall, it was positive, apart from the 2 hours following the surgery, which I will never want to do again. Would I get it done if I kind of knew the experience and could go back again? Yes, I would. and I would definitely stick with the IDESIGN. I think if I'd gone for the standard, I might have regretted it, because I'd been like, oh well, if I'd done IDESIGN it would have been better and I could have seen more. So at least I don't have that now. But yes, that is my experience. If you want to know anything else, if I've missed anything out, I know it has been so jumbled and I'm so sorry. And if you stuck around for over half an hour, then thank you so much. Please let me know any questions in the comments and I will try and answer them as best as I can, or contact me on Instagram at just Rach with 3 H's, and you can find me on there, or direct message me on there and I'll let you know what I can. Again, if you're watching this video to slate laser eye surgery, please don't. I will just block you. Like I said, I want people to make their own minds up about laser eye surgery and get a fair view rather than kind of the extremes from one end to the other. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you want to know anything else, and please let me know if you have any other video ideas you'd like me to cover. I hope you're having a lovely week and I will see you soon.